Hi, how's it going everyone? Blazing Yeti here, and today we are taking a look at the Nightclub. So the Nightclub is the best business in GTA for passive income, and it requires a little bit of setup, and a lot has changed since the last time I did a video on this business, so let's get right into it. First of all, to get the Nightclub, just head over to the foreclosure website, and you can buy one anywhere from 1,080,000 to 1,700,000. When it comes to the location, you can pick pretty much any one of them, they're all pretty good. The only ones that I would avoid are the ones at the bottom of the map, simply because all of your sale missions will be that little bit longer. I've always liked this one here because it's right next to all of my other businesses. For the upgrades, most of them are just cosmetic, so you don't really need them unless you want it to look pretty, but there are two upgrades that are worth getting. First of all, the garage space is good. You can add up to 3 floors, giving you a space for 30 more cars, and that one will cost you 441,350. If you're a car collector, you will want this because you need all the space you can in this game. But the most important upgrade is the storage space. To get the most out of your Nightclub, you will need to buy all of the storage space. There are 4 floors and each one allows you to hold more stock. To buy all of the floors, it will cost you just over 1.7 million. The more storage space that you have, the more you can make from passive income, which I'll get into a bit later in this video. Before we get into the main part of the business, let's talk about the safe and popularity. This is now one of the best things in the game for making quick money, and it requires little work at all. So the popularity of your Nightclub will determine how much income gets put into your safe every in-game day. You'll want to keep this at 100% because it will give you 50,000 every 48 minutes. And the safe can now hold up to 250,000. There are a few ways to keep this at 100%. If you're at 0, the best way to get this back to 100% is to do 4 popularity missions. Each mission will increase your popularity by 25%, and they only take about 5 minutes each, so you can max it out very quickly, and you also get a little extra money for doing the missions. When you're at 100%, the best way to keep on top of this is to just pop by the Nightclub every hour or so, and you will get one of 2 random events appear inside of your Nightclub. You will either have to drive a drunk VIP home or to the hospital, or kick someone out of the club. When you're driving someone home, you have to be careful not to crash or drive too quickly because you will spook them on the way. This mission normally only takes a few minutes, but it can feel like a bit longer because you can't go full speed. And if you have to kick someone out, all you have to do is walk up to them and press the action prompt and they'll be kicked out. Both of these events will show up as soon as you get in your Nightclub and fill your popularity by 10%. If you enter through the back door, which I recommend doing because it's much quicker, it won't pop up until you get into the office. Another way to increase your popularity is through the DJs. After you get the Nightclub, you will already have 1 DJ. However, you can get 3 extra DJs, each one costing 100,000. Every time you get a new DJ, it will fully increase your popularity to 100%, and after you have a new DJ, you can switch between them for 10,000. Some people like to switch between them 10 times to fill your popularity, because each time you switch the DJs, it fills the bar by 10%, so it will cost you another 100,000 to refill it that way. In my opinion, it's not worth doing that unless you're in a hurry, because the 2 random events that I mentioned earlier are so quick to do that it makes more sense just to do them. And if you really can't be bothered to do the random events, you can just get a new DJ every hour. It will refill it by 10%, but it will also cost you 10,000. You can also check your Nightclub popularity when you're not there. Just call up Tony and it will show you in the top left-hand corner what it is. You can also start a popularity mission that way without having to go back to your Nightclub, which can be handy. Another thing to mention before we move on is what some people like to do is wait 2.5 hours, letting the popularity drop to 85%, then doing 1 popularity mission, filling it back up to 100%. This will give you around 145,000 in your safe every 2.5 hours. Oh, and don't forget to buy the staff upgrade. That will half the amount of popularity you lose every in-game day. And the numbers I went over so far are based on having this, and it only costs 475,000, and it will pay itself off in no time at all. Okay, so let's get into the main reason the Nightclub is the best passive income business. Like I said earlier, it requires a bit of setup to get the most out of it. First of all, I'll go over the upgrades and then I'll get into the technicians. You will need to buy all of the storage floors like I said at the beginning of the video because this will hold the most amount of stock you can. You will also want to buy the last 2 upgrades. The equipment upgrade costs 1,425,000 and it doubles the productivity of the warehouse technicians. It also adds a computer to each floor of your Nightclub, which could be handy as well. The security upgrade costs 695,000 and it will halve the frequency of police raids. If you don't have the security upgrade, there's a chance that you could be raided after you filled 20% of your stock, but with the upgrade there is no chance of a raid until you have over 40% stock. However, you will not get raided as long as you are not a VIP, CEO or MC president. Honestly, raids are very rare on the Nightclub, but in my opinion it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. This also adds a gun locker and a security camera to your office. Okay, so technicians. You can have a maximum of 5 technicians and each one will cost a little bit more than the last one, but you will want to get all of them to get the best out of this business. In total, they will cost you 878,000. The way they work is each technician will be assigned to a different production line and each production line will represent one of your businesses. Cargo and shipment is either the special crate warehouse or the hangar, and Sporting Goods is the bunker. The rest of them are your MC businesses. So South American Imports is the Coke Lab, Pharmaceutical Research is the Meth Lab, Organic Produce is the Weed Farm, Printing and Copying is Document Forgery, and Cash Generation is the Counterfeit Cash business. It does not matter if you have stock in them or if they are upgraded, they just need to be set up and active. Then, all you have to do is set these technicians to 5 of the businesses, and they will passively generate stock inside of your nightclub. Each one will hold a different amount of stock, take a different amount of time to fill, and they also sell for different amounts. I made this chart just to show you the numbers that you need to know, and these are all based on having the upgrades. So, as you can see here, it can take a while for you to build up stock. The main thing you want to take away from this is the businesses that you should assign your technicians to. For the best profit, you should set them to Cargo and Shipment, Sporting Goods, South American Imports, Pharmaceutical Research, and Cash Generation. If you want to fill your warehouse completely, it will take you 66.5 hours to fill it, and you will have to switch 2 technicians from either South American Imports, Pharmaceutical Research, and the Cash Generation to Organic Produce or Printing and Copying. But it's not worth it to do this. It's much better to leave the technicians assigned to the first 5 that I mentioned and sell when it gets to over 1.1 million. The reason for this is it takes less time and it's not worth the extra time or money to switch over and wait for them. When you sell, Tony will take a 10% cut up to a maximum of 100,000. So only sell when you go over 1.1 million for maximum profit, which takes around about 25 hours. Doing it this way, after the cut, you'll make just over 1 million every 25 hours. When it comes to selling, there are a few things to bear in mind. To start with, you have 3 different sale vehicles that are stored in your nightclub garage. You will already get one for free, the Speedo, but it will only allow you to sell up to 90 units. You can buy 2 more vehicles from the Warstock website, the Mule, which will cost 95k, and the Pounder, which will cost you 320k. If you have more than 90 units, you will always get the Mule, but when you go over 180 units, you will get the Pounder. You do not need the Mule, it's a waste of money, but you will want to get the Pounder for the big deliveries. You can customize it how you want, but the only thing that I would suggest is not getting the scoop on the front of it because it just gets stuck everywhere. Just get the medium armor and you will be fine. You do get a bonus for selling in public lobbies, but I don't recommend doing that either. It's just not worth risking 25 hours of waiting for the chance that someone will blow you up. So, like I said, this business can require a bit of setup, but it pays for itself in the long run with very little effort. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you do like these types of videos, subscribe, hit that like button, and I will catch you in the next one.